Hey, I'm Elizabeth Merrick and I make toppers, and I'm going to show you today how to make some of your own toppers, and this is my first video, so bear with me. I think that the topper that I get the most requests for are people, and people can be pretty challenging for some people. Today's topper that we're going to make is a very popular one, and it is going to be a little pregnant mommy sitting on the side of a cake with her little belly, and she's going to be wearing a cute little outfit, and I'll show you how to put on her features and her hair, and to basically do a couple things that will make your topper look a little bit more above the sausage legs and little round face toppers. So all right, let's do this. And I got my flesh colored fondant here. I'm just gonna kind of knead it, get a little bit worked up a little bit here. Cover my other fondant so that it doesn't get dried out. And I always start with the legs. And I want this to dry pretty hard. So I'm going to add, a little bit of Tylose powder to this and work it in. Make sure you work the Tylose powder in really good, otherwise it'll leave a weird grainy texture on your figure. I'm going to try and do this as fast as possible. Obviously you'd want to take your time, but I'm trying to make this not be such a long, drawn out, tutorial. So the way I do legs is I sort of start making them into a log, and I kind of leave the middle fat because that's going to be like where the booty is, and kind of lengthening out these legs. Try and keep them obviously the same thickness, because one leg hopefully is not thicker than the other. And then after I so this leg is like a little bit thinner than that leg, so I'm going to pinch off a little bit of this part here and then continue to draw out that leg so that they are the same size. Alright, that looks okay. So after we have this going on, you're going to smush these together and elongate this part of the torso, because that's going to be sort of where they're sitting. And this doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be covered by her skirt, but I always kind of like smash the butt down, which looks really funny, but it provides like a nice flat surface so your figure doesn't like fall backwards. And then for the leg part, we want to have thigh and calf and then foot. And I know this looks really thin, but we're going to sort of, decide, okay, if this is the butt, then the thigh is probably about right here. I'm using my thumb to gently indent where the thigh and the calf would be. People don't usually do this, they usually just make it like a sausage, and I think that looks weird. So we got a nice womanly knee going on. I usually give it a little pinch to kind of define the knee, and then continue to define the lower part of the leg. The calf is thicker up towards the knee than it is down by the ankle. So we got that going on. And then for the final part, a little foot. And I'll show you how to put on some shoes here in a moment. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So we've got like a little leg. So I'll take a little bit of water, put that on the bottom of each foot, and you really don't need a lot. Sometimes I don't even use water. I just smash things together because water gets really sticky and goopy and messy. So just make a little, I'm just like making like a little flat piece there that's gonna go on the bottom of her foot. And you really want this to be thin. You know, she's not wearing clogs, she's dainty. So right now we're just worrying about the bottom of her feet. And you know, you might think that this is too involved for you, and that's fine. You can skip steps that you don't feel are necessary, but you know, figures really allow you to take a lot of time, and because they don't have the constraints of a cake, I could work on this all week if I wanted to. I'm just gonna make her foot a little bit smaller so it matches the other one. Yeah, so you know, if you have the opportunity to work for a long time on something, why not make it awesome? Okay, so we got little bottoms of the feet, and then I'm going to just put a little bit over the top so she looks like she's just wearing some little cute shoes. And I'll probably put like a bow on these or something. So now you can see we've got our lady's cute little legs, her cute little shoes. You could put heels on these if you want. I'm gonna give her a little belly, and we're putting a skirt over her. So, you know, you don't have to like, what do you call it? Like blend this in or anything. And I'm just gonna take some varying little balls of white and kind of press them on there randomly. Okay, so then you roll this out with your little roller, and these polka dots are going to smush into the bottom below. So we're just gonna like wet this a little bit. Try not to get any water on the pan, because that will glue your figure to the pan, and that's not good. So we're just gonna place that over her, and then, you know, kind of accentuate her little belly. That's what it's all about. She's a little pregnant mama, looking cute with her little pregnant belly. So we're gonna kind of make sure that's really visible. So we've got our little ball here, and I start out with the neck. I just kind of pinch up. You don't have to be really specific at this point. You're just sort of sketching out with your fingers where everything's gonna be. So I'm bringing out the arms. Make sure you bring out enough for the arms, because you can always pinch off what you don't need. And then this is her, you know, it's not gonna be very tall because she's wearing a little dress that comes up to her waist, so it's like empire waist. And I'm gonna kind of make her bust develop her breasts. Yes, I am. Just laughed at the word breasts. I am that mature. These are very coney right now, which doesn't matter because I'm going to compress them in a minute, but I want to make sure that I have enough fondant there for her boobs. And then develop her neck a little bit more. And then for the arms, make sure you leave space for her shoulders. People always forget about the shoulders for some reason. And make them much, like the arms, thinner than you think. I mean, this is a girl. She's fit and fashionable. She has dainty little arms. Don't give her sausage arms. So we have her shoulder here. Same thing with the legs. This is her shoulder. This is her bicep, forearm, and then we're gonna leave some hands at the bottom. So kind of pinch where you want the forearm and the bicep to be. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. Pause for a second. Pinch where the wrist is. Flatten, just give it a squeeze with your thumb there where the hand is going to be, and then take your X-Acto knife here just cut off the extra that you don't need for the hands, but make sure you leave enough for the fingers. Don't worry about that having a square spatula look to it. We're gonna fix that. Okay, let's look at her here. Make sure her shoulders are square. She's got a nice thin waist. Her arms look right. Boobs look right. We're going to kind of give her a little bit of a clavicle, because that's one of those little things. Oh, and then like little necklines. That's one of those things that people just freak out over. Do the same thing on this side. Sometimes I'll cut it even a little bit more so that the fingers have a little bit more of a natural shape. And then you're going to try and stay in camera for this. Back up. Okay. You're going to grab her little, each one of these little things you just cut, and just give it a little roll. See? Give it a little roll. Make sure it's not pointy. And I always make her hands a little bit shorter than normal when I cut, because then you can stretch them out and make them long and dainty. And we're gonna go ahead and stick her on top of her other part of her body here. So that's about how tall she is, and I'm gonna slant it, and she's about 1.5 wide. So that's gonna be the front of her shirt. And then I'm gonna do basically the same thing for the back of her. So press against her body. I have the tips heading kind of towards her shoulders, because that's where I'm gonna put the straps. And then for this piece, I'm gonna cut a little dent out of each corner to make room for her arms, just like a tank top would. Not being very, specific, because it's fun and it's stretchy and stuff. So lift up your arm, that goes under there. Pull this out, goes under there. Make one more little band here that I'm just gonna put around her waist to kind of clean it all up. And I'm gonna kind of push her belly up a little bit more. It's a little too in her lap. Okay. I'm just gonna set up. I'm gonna go ahead and arrange her hands. And I want one arm to be up. Want one arm to be up on her belly. Like this. And I want the other one to kind of be cradling her little belly like that. It's a very universal I'm pregnant pose.